Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Polygon Matic. I do want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. If you haven't seen the previous update, make sure to watch that before watching this one. It's going to be linked in the top right-hand corner of the screen. Now, let's get straight into the TA. Now jumping into the daily chart, as you can see, we have a Fibonacci retracement set up with the swing high that we printed in December 2021 and the swing low that we printed here in June. We have our golden ratio at 24 or $1.2470. We retested that in November and had a pull back downwards, and as you can see, we perfectly bounced off of the golden ratio and off of the resistance block, the golden resistance block that I have up here. I traded this nicely, mentioned this on my Patreon, obviously, link down below in the description. And right now, Polygon Matic has pulled back down. So from this point, from that local high, Matic has gone down around 41%. And as you can see, we have this blue support block that we need to hold anywhere from 76 cents to 69 cents. Now, we have retested this multiple times in September, in October as well, and right now we're coming back down to that area in November, almost retesting it. And as you can see, you have the 0.382 Fibonacci level in there as well. So as long as we hold this area and we consolidate in here and Bitcoin doesn't do anything crazy and doesn't crash to $12,000, I think this is going to be our next major support level that we're going to be holding for Matic for the foreseeable future, because to be honest with you, Matic is doing incredible. It is very, very strong. Look at this low here in June and look where Matic is right now. If you take a look at some other projects, they are down quite a lot from their June low even. So Matic is up 170% since the June bottom, and it was up 308%. Obviously, I do have some Matic. My average buy-in price is somewhere over here around 46 cents. As always, I mentioned all of my buys back in June with Matic on my Patreon. And we're getting the bearish cross confirmation here on the daily chart where the 20 EMA is crossing below the 55. But as always, in a bear market, these aren't the most important indicators for us to be looking at. So if you want to start dollar cost averaging and you absolutely don't have any more Polygon Matic, you could start looking at 73.5 cents, which is the 0.382. Now, if we start losing that, and we would need a lot of selling pressure to lose this level, because not only do we have a nice bounce over here, as you can see, a nice bounce over here, a nice bounce over here, a nice bounce over here. We also tested this level as resistance all the way back in May when we initially had the capitulation here. And so this is a strong level, so it's going to take quite a lot of force to push us down. But if we start dropping down, your next support level is going to be this yellow trend line over here. And that is at 61 cents because you do have two swing highs in this area. This was also a support level back in May. Then we retested it as resistance in June and in July. Then we broke above in July, and now we haven't back tested this level as support yet. So potentially, if we see another strong move to the downside from Bitcoin, we may see Polygon Matic roll over all the way down to 61 cents, which I think is possible, right? But we need Bitcoin to go down if that is going to happen. Otherwise, I don't see I don't see a reason for Polygon Matic to go below this blue support block. It all depends on Bitcoin. If we get another major crypto entity, capitulating, then obviously we could see another crash in crypto, and I think at that point Polygon Matic is going to come back down to 61.53 cents. Now, it would be very, very nice for us to hold this low. Like if we manage to hold this low, then that's great because we set up a Fibonacci retracement. We already potentially, right, assuming this is our bear market low in June for Polygon Matic, which I think it is. I think Cosmos has bottomed. I think Elrond has bottomed, although that one doesn't look as strong as Polygon and Cosmos. But if this is our June bottom for Polygon Matic, our next bull market target is going to be sitting at $11.50. So from where we are right now, that is a 1200% move to the upside. I think that's totally doable. And considering the fact that Polygon is already in the top 10 which is crazy. I think that that is doable, right? With the partnerships that Polygon is getting, and I think working with Instagram, that's going to bring a lot of attention to Polygon Matic, regardless. And I think we might be seeing even higher prices. But $11.50, around $12, I would say that's where I would be taking profits. Obviously, you could even take a look at some earlier levels or lower levels here at $7.33, which is the 1.414. You also have the 1.272 at $5.35. And obviously, I'm talking about these levels. These are to be met in 2024, in my opinion, because that's when I think the bull market is going to kick in, after we proceed to our next halving in early 2024. Now, jumping into the daily RSI, so what I did here is I created this channel up pattern or channel up structure with basically this is a support zone that we've been hitting for many months, in May, in June, in September, in November, once again in November, and every time you're in this zone, you seem to have a very strong move to the upside. So could this be another one of those instances? Now, if that is the case, your target here on the daily RSI would be 67.6, because as you can see, multiple times you have retested that level as resistance. So if you're entering for a quick or maybe a mid-term trade, you don't want to buy in for the long term, I would say this is a great area to be buying. But obviously don't invest anything you can't afford to lose, because let's say you buy in, Bitcoin crashes 15 seconds later and it all goes down, right? You would have to dollar cost average in at these prices, and you should be comfortable enough doing so without having the need to sell at a loss because you need the money ASAP. Just don't do that. That's not very smart. But if you're holding for the long term, I think buying at these levels, like for me, I'm not buying right now because I do have enough coins. And if we see the prices go back to 50 cents, I'm going to buy, right? But 80 cents, 85 cents is too expensive for me when we have some other altcoins that I'm looking at and we see them below their June low, right? So they're all the way down here. So I don't have a reason to buy Polygon Matic right now. Now it's a different situation if you don't have any Polygon Matic. Then I would start looking at 75 cents, 74 cents, 69 cents. That's where I would start dollar cost averaging. And if it goes lower, great, just buy more. And if it doesn't, well, at least you're exposed to the project, if you want to be exposed to the project. So that's regarding the daily RSI. Obviously, if we see a strong move to the upside, just like we did over here in November and just like we did here in July, obviously take a look at the top resistance zone, as you can see over there. That would be a nice area to take some profits. Just going to extend that. So yeah, that's it for the daily chart. Let's switch over to the Binance website. Taking a look at the weekly chart for Polygon Matic on Binance, as you can see, situation hasn't really changed since our last update. We're closing our candles below the 20 EMA, which is quite negative. We're bouncing off of it as resistance. So that's a strong sign telling us that we're getting rejected back down. We couldn't solidify above the 20 EMA. So I would take a look at this yellow trend line, which we bounced off of back in September. So this could be the level that is going to hold us up, right? And if that fails, you can always take a Fibonacci retracement from the local high to the local low and see what your possible targets are. Minimal target, 58 cents. 53 cents is the 1.414, the 1.618 all the way down here at 46.5 cents. It could happen. It could happen, but it's not going to happen on its own unless obviously there are some bearish news coming out regarding Polygon Matic. But if Bitcoin doesn't drop, there is no incentive for Polygon Matic to drop. Now, what could happen as well is you can see we are breaking out of a falling wedge pattern, and you usually come back down for a retest. So potentially what could happen is we might see that retest and we could, bounce off of either one of these extension levels on the fib, and we can bounce off of the support of the falling wedge and have a move to the upside from there. That would be, 58 cents, 56 cents. Maybe I'm even going to dollar cost average in at those prices, depending on the situation that I'm in and depending on my other altcoins that I'm looking for. But for now, on the weekly, not a very good scenario in terms of the EMAs. We're not solidifying ourselves above that. We're getting rejected from this golden ratio here at 88 cents, which goes to show, let me actually switch over to the daily chart. Maybe we'll get a better picture. So yeah, you went all the way back down to the 786 twice. So that's holding us as support for now. And you're getting rejected from the golden ratio. You're getting a bearish cross. So yeah, that's what you have here on the weekly. And once that happens, like I said, once you get rejected from the 20 MA, typically there is a move to the downside. You fail to break resistance, you retest support, you have another go at it. If you fail to hold that support, you test the support that's lower, and so on and so forth. And the same way it works if you're breaking to the upside. Now here, you're breaking out of a falling wedge as well on the RSI, on the weekly chart. And potentially I would be looking at an entry off of this teal trend line here. Our previous resistance, we started hitting that level in December 2021, August 2022, another touch in August 2022, finally a breakout in September, and we haven't seen the back test of support. So that's what I think could happen if we see a move to the downside. Polygon Matic doesn't necessarily have to come back down this low, although I would like that to happen, to just buy a bunch of more coins. But realistically, if we don't get any more strong capitulations, which I think is possible, but if that doesn't happen, you know, I don't think we're going to be coming down to these levels below the index of 30. However, if we see a pullback, let's say to $14,000, it is very, very possible that Polygon Matic comes back down, retests this level, and comes up from there. So that would be a great entry for Polygon Matic. Be on the lookout for that. Now the video has gone on for too long. Don't want to drag this out anymore. Thank you all for watching. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. Feel free to join my Patreon. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.